GM. GM. Saturday, 16th of March, trade of the day. Not trade of the day, daily levels. Trade of the day is the next one. Let's take a look at what's going on in the market. All right. So, Bitcoin had a nice close yesterday. Today, uh, opening up with a little bit of downside, but it's a weekend. I expect consolidation. The more important move was the fact that we closed yesterday's daily above the previous all-time high. I think this is probably going to set up for either a break higher or some kind of a more drawn out distribution, which if I leave on, don't need those, don't need that really. That was one of the paths I was talking about. Let's see if that comes out. Side that. Fuck it, I don't need any of that bullshit. All right, so what I'm looking at is, let me go to a time frame. I think the way this is setting up is to have some kind of a distribution type of top where it forms a base around here. And then it drops off and everyone thinks it's going to zero, but it only goes back as far as 60. And then away we go. So I think don't know how long this will be. Potentially 2 or 3 pushes, probably not. Maybe we've already done one, maybe there's only one more. The point is not so much what we do up here, it's that above all-time high, initially, we see some distribution. And I'm actually going to, we see some distribution, right? And then price trends down towards the strong support around 60. And I think we see a really short, not even an accumulation, a dip getting bought. Because Bitcoin is not I just don't think it's in the phase where it's going to be putting in long-term, slow-moving bottoms. I think the decline is the shakeout, and then once it's reached the lows, it'll get bought up again. Especially if it dips back below, right? So if it goes above all-time high, there's some distribution, comes back below, going to 64, 62, 60, touching the high 50s, that's when people start to think, oh my God, you all got trapped again. And, look at this. You're all idiots. You got yourself trapped above all-time high. It's going to zero. It's not going to go to zero. But I would see a nice sharp sell-off down into what would be probably a very shallow dip. That's what I'm guessing. So we'll see. The main thing with this is, and it's just my thoughts at the moment, is that currently above all-time high, there has been some really solid resistance. Right. So yesterday's rally or attempt to rally was quite telling to me that basically all of this buying above here, right? So everything above 70K in the past few days has really trapped either ETF buyers or people trying to chase longs, thinking the ETFs would go up only forever. Because when we had that push back up, a nice little squeeze out of any of the shorts, it just rejected hard. Now, that doesn't mean it goes down. This is, again, you have to think in a psychological perspective. As soon as people see that wick, and they were watching it last night, and they look at this and they go, oh my God, pure rejection. So what do? They start shorting, and they get squeezed up. And price will now consolidate. Maybe it goes lower first, but that's a pretty solid shakeout, right? We've went all the way from 73 down to 65. I think that's the bottom, and we go make a new high. But it's going to be more of a slow grind up as people try and short it to take that liquidity. The reason I think that is because there's a subtle shift now in BTC, right? This is the first time where a dip hasn't had immediate follow through. We had a dip over here, got bought straight back up. We've had dips on the way up that you can't even see them on the chart. They're so small. There's a dip, got bought straight back up, new highs the next day. Obviously on the way up here, we had dips. Some of them led into consolidations, which I think is what probably happens here. But with the reaction at 70, I think we can push higher to take the liquidity above and start to form distribution. Maybe push a third time, but maybe just push twice. But I think that bearish reaction, the trapped buyers above, probably would lean me towards this this push, right, this attempt at all-time high break, not holding, and we go a little bit lower, we reaccumulate, sweep some people out, flush them out, and go again. That's just my thoughts at the moment. Doesn't mean it's right. We'll see how it goes. So the ETFs took in 200 million after taking in 132 million. So real slowdown in ETF flows. Very, very clear slowdown in the past 2 days. And what has price been doing in the past 2 days? Well, 2 red days, right? 2 days above all-time high. So we got the first day. We broke above. Good flows, decent flows. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, when it was going up. Then we met some resistance, pulled back a bit, swept out below. And it's not a surprise that both of those days had less than uninspiring flows. I talked exactly about this on Wednesday. I do, in the short term, think that Tuesday and Wednesday's buying could be that of real FOMO. $1 billion in a day, followed by 680 million. That's these 2 days here. That's Tuesday and Wednesday. And no follow through. In fact, we sold off from it. So it's quite clear that the ETFs themselves have pushed us this far. The new wave of demand was fantastic. And I don't think it goes down. I think there's really strong demand. Everyone wants Bitcoin, but you can't just go up only forever. So the mistake most people make is they think that when it stops going up, that it just goes down. And if it doesn't immediately crash like yesterday, right? A lot of people are like, oh, this is it. Like, it's over. That's the top. And then they're like, why is it not going down more? Because that's not how tops or bottoms work. You've retests. It's easy to take short-term traders who start piling into shorts here and just squeeze them back up towards the highs. So there's no free lunch. You're not just going to get an easy ride. In fact, I've misspoke. You do get an easy ride in a bull market by just buying coins. Because look at Bitcoin. Look at any fucking altcoin. But for shorts, absolutely not. There's no easy ride. It's easy. It's always super easy for big players to get long on these flushes because they know that idiots are going to come in with 50x, 100x, 25x shorts and they'll just squeeze them back up. And it's not as risky in a bull market to squeeze shorts because there's always demand there, right? It doesn't matter how many times Bitcoin, and this is the way you have to think about it, the average person will buy this level every single fucking time. They will buy that red box every fucking time, as long as price is going up into it. Going up, oh, V reversal, going up, they'll buy here. They won't buy here. They're scared there. But they'll buy the pump, the breakout. They'll buy the V reversal. They'll buy this breakout, right? They'll buy here. Look how good it looks. It's about to go. Like, how many people were I can't do bar replay. But see, when the price was here, how many people were looking at that thinking, it looks fucking amazing. So if you ever wonder why it doesn't like just nuke and crash really fast in a bull market, the incentive is so strong for price to just come back up. Even if it's distribution, which it probably is on the lower time frames, I guess, you can still squeeze it back up because guess what? You can sell more here. Because if Bitcoin comes around like this and rallies up, and let's say we don't get that path. Let's say Bitcoin goes like this. Everyone says, oh no, Bitcoin looks bad. And boom, it just squeezes up here real sharp. Guess what? Everyone's going to buy there again. And then guess what's going to happen? It's going to come back down. Then they'll panic again. Then it'll come back up. And they'll buy again. And then that's like a kind of way where you can see a proper top forming on BTC. The reason it takes those pushes is to make people question themselves and make bad decisions. If you think about the path of a trend, right? Trend, consolidate, trend, consolidate, trend. But on the way down, so even when you're going down, you come down, but it doesn't go straight down. What does it do? It comes up, then down. Then what does it do? Makes another high. Because then people think, oh, the downtrend's over. And then quite often it makes another one or a lower high, and they buy again on the way up, and then it goes. It's just these parts in between, right? The direction of the trend is driven by spot flows, right? So if there's heavier spot selling or buying, that will dictate the general trend direction. The consolidations in between This is really where traders get themselves chopped up. Bad traders lose to good traders. So you can see this, you can see it this way, right? This is the primary trend where just holding spot dominates, right? This is the primary trend where selling spot dominates. So holding and buying on the left, selling spot on the right. The parts in between is where bad traders give their money away to good traders. Because the bad trader doesn't want to get long here, he wants to get long here. And then he gets panics here, and then he gets long again here. And he panics again here, and he gets long again here. And it's those 3 times, 2 times, 3 times, whatever. There's usually multiple retests for that reason. They panic, they FOMO back in, panic, FOMO back in, panic, FOMO back in, and then boom, the trend continues in whatever direction it was originally going. So that's that. Now, trade of the day, I'm going to look at AI. I'll update on fetch and render. So the only other one I want to look at here today is Sol. You see Sol absolutely fucking flying. I must say that was a very fortunate timed swap I did on Sol BTC. Let's say fortunate, obviously. Something as simple as the band flipping green turned out to be a good indicator there. Doesn't mean it always is, but if you've been here long enough, you'll know that one of my favorite reaccumulation patterns is when price comes down and the bands go red, shows that initial weakness, then they go green again, then they go red again, then they go green again. That second time they go green, right? Here's the first time they turn green. So green to red, red to green, green to red, red to green, along with market structure. Right? It's not just the bands, but the bands usually indicate that something like this was happening, right? Price tried to break down below, double bottom, very nice. If you go to the simple reversals lesson, you'll see double bottom, one of the best reversal patterns you see. It pushed back up, came above all of this, and bands go green, starts to trend up, breaks out, boom, away it goes. So what about Solana now? Well, it's coming up to $200 round number resistance. And it's not just round number resistance. You do have old weekly highs here at 204. So whenever it's round number resistance alone, I expect usually a quick pullback, but nothing sustained. If you look at Solana back at 100, I don't think 100 provided much resistance for Solana on this way up. Yeah, here we are. No resistance. Blasted through 100 to 126. So 100 was never resistance on Sol. A lot of people wanted to sell at 100 though, for no real reason. It turned out to be good support over here afterwards, but the initial move up is all that matters. That's where we are now. So is 200 going to act as resistance? I mean, we are straight up only. And the thing I think is, if it's going to have a temporary pullback, this old December 2021 highs, right? Solana is now back to bull market levels. Right? 2022 was a bear market from fucking day one. So 175 is bear market territory for Solana. 2022 was just all bearish. Late 2021, getting towards that 200 level, and obviously anything above that, that's pure bull for Solana. $225 is what I've calculated to be the 100 billion market cap level. That's another key one. That's probably, to me, that's a much more important level than just 200 itself. So I think if Solana's going to slow down at all on this move, it's going to be probably at 204. It might pull back a bit, and I probably should drag that up, and there's a nice little zone in between. 204, just because there's liquidity there, or 225, because that's 100 billion market cap. And for investors or traders, that's much more important than just the dollar amount. The way you value any company is market cap. It's not share price. All right, people don't look at fucking Nvidia and think, oh wow, it's $900. It's so expensive or so cheap compared to Apple, which is, that's not how it works. It's market cap. So 100 billion market cap, 204. There are a couple levels to watch. And yeah, looks good for Solana. And that's it. I'll do AI now in trade of the day. GM, see you all later on the live stream. Same time, 5 p.m. UTC.